Mars, the red planet. For decades, it's been the stuff of science fiction. But today, we're asking a very real question. Can humans actually colonize Mars? Not just visit it, but live there permanently? The answer might surprise you. Let's break down the science, the challenges, and what it would really take to become a multi-planetary species. Before we dive into the how, let's talk about the why. All the planets in our solar system, why is Mars the target for colonization? Mars is actually our best option, and here's why. First, it's relatively close. At its nearest approach, Mars is only about 55 million kilometers away. That's still a 6 to 9 month journey with current technology, but it's far better than the years it would take to reach anywhere else. Second, Mars has a day that's remarkably similar to Earth's. A Martian day, called a sol, is just 24 hours and 37 minutes. Our bodies could actually adapt to that. Third, and this is crucial, Mars has water. We've confirmed frozen water at the poles and beneath the surface. Water means drinking water, oxygen and rocket fuel if we can process it correctly. And finally, Mars has an atmosphere. Yes, it's thin, only about 1% of Earth's atmospheric pressure, but it's something. It provides some protection from radiation and contains carbon dioxide. Now, here's where things get real. Colonizing Mars isn't just difficult, it's one of the most ambitious undertakings humanity has ever considered. Getting there is the first hurdle. We're talking about a 6 to 9 month journey through space in a confined capsule. Astronauts would face cosmic radiation exposure, muscle and bone density loss from zero gravity, and significant psychological stress. Remember that thin atmosphere I mentioned? Here's the problem. You can't breathe it. It's 95% carbon dioxide, and the pressure is so low that your blood would literally boil if you stepped outside without a spacesuit. Without Earth's magnetic field and thick atmosphere, Mars is constantly bombarded by cosmic rays and solar radiation. A human on Mars would receive about 200 times more radiation than on Earth. Long-term exposure significantly increases cancer risk. Any habitat would need to be heavily shielded, possibly buried underground, or covered with Martian soil. Mars is cold, brutally cold. The average temperature is minus 63 degrees Celsius. It can drop to minus 125 degrees at the poles in winter. Heating systems would need to run constantly. Everything you need to survive, food, water, oxygen, medicine, tools, either needs to be brought from Earth at enormous cost or manufactured on Mars. We're talking about creating entire production systems on a hostile alien world. Okay, so the challenges are immense, but here's the exciting part. Scientists and engineers are actively working on solutions. Let's look at what could actually make this possible. NASA's Perseverance rover is already testing an experiment that converts Martian carbon dioxide into oxygen. If we can scale this up, we could produce breathable air and rocket fuel right on Mars. Researchers are developing techniques to use Martian soil as a building material. Combined with 3D printing technology, we could construct habitats using local materials instead of shipping everything from Earth. To solve the radiation problem, many proposals suggest building underground or in lava tubes, natural cave systems that exist on Mars. These would provide natural radiation shielding and more stable temperatures. We'd need systems that recycle water, air, and even waste products. The International Space Station already does this to some extent, but Mars colonists would need to take it to the next level. They'd potentially grow their own food in greenhouses using hydroponics or aeroponics. Solar panels could work near the equator, but Mars receives only 43% of the sunlight that Earth does. Dust storms can last months. Compact nuclear reactors might be the most reliable power source for a Mars colony. So when could this actually happen? SpaceX's Elon Musk has said he wants to send humans to Mars by the 2030s, with the goal of establishing a self-sustaining city of 1 million people by 2050. NASA is more conservative, targeting the late 2030s or 2040s for a crewed mission. But here's the reality. Actually colonizing Mars, not just visiting, is likely several decades away at minimum. We're probably looking at the second half of this century before there's anything resembling a true colony. The first missions will be small, maybe a dozen people. They'll focus on survival, testing systems, and proving that long-term habitation is possible. Only after years of successful operation would we see expansion to larger populations. Let's zoom out for a moment. Is this even a good idea? Some critics argue that the resources needed to colonize Mars could be better spent fixing problems here on Earth: climate change, poverty, disease. And they have a point. Colonizing Mars will cost hundreds of billions, possibly trillions of dollars. But proponents argue this isn't an either-or situation. They say that becoming a multi-planetary species is essential insurance for humanity. One asteroid impact, supervolcano eruption, or nuclear war could devastate Earth. Having a backup population on Mars could ensure human survival. There's also the inspiration factor. The Apollo program inspired an entire generation of scientists and engineers. A Mars colony could do the same. It could spur technological innovation that benefits people on Earth, from medical advances to environmental technology. And let's be honest, humans have always been explorers. We've crossed oceans, climbed mountains, and ventured into space. Mars is the next frontier. So, can humans colonize Mars? The answer is, technically, probably yes. But it won't be easy, cheap, or quick. It will require unprecedented international cooperation, massive technological advances, and enormous resources. The first Mars colonists won't be tourists. They'll be pioneers risking their lives in one of the most dangerous environments imaginable. Many might not survive. But if history has taught us anything, it's that humanity has a tendency to do the impossible when we set our minds to it. Will you live to see the first Mars colony? Maybe. Will there be thriving cities on Mars within this century? That's a harder sell. But somewhere right now, the person who will be the first human born on Mars might already be alive on Earth. The real question isn't can we colonize Mars, it's will we choose to do it? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more space exploration content. Thanks for watching and keep looking up at the stars.